You may recall that I made a tool like this. This is a Mark 1 to put those spring clips in. We did a little video on it, but I've now got the drawing from James, and JP made me the finished article, and it's a lovely one. Now it did cost a little bit. It cost me $100 to get that made because we had the dimensions slightly off on the outside. Why? Well, we had this in metric and it was a little bit too large, so he had to get a great big lump of metal and machine this down, so it took a lot of time and a lot of metal. So what I've done now is I've got two drawings, one in inches and one in metric, so you can download that and make it yourself, because I'm not going to make them because they're going to be too expensive. We found out in the end we could use 3.5 inch pipe and machine it down, because the exterior doesn't really matter what size it is. It could even be rough pipe, it's the inside that matters. So really it's 3.5 inches by 2 3/4 inches here. But like I say, you had to start off with a piece of metal that was too big, but it works. So the drawing is in my shop, so you can make it yourself. It's a time saver. Unfortunately, I haven't got a box here to show you how to install it, but I'll try and put a link in from another video I did a few weeks ago of the original tool and seeing how it works. So that's one thing that's new. You also need a little bit of a bearing, which I'll put a link to the part number to push it in with, and a disc. Now the disc is really important because it's got to be a nice snug fit in there. Alright, so that's important. But you can get your machine shop or you can make it yourself to do all those bits. What else did I do for that steering box? Oh, if you've seen on steering boxes, when you're setting them up, it used to have one of these things, a little knurled thing that goes on the outside on your shaft, and you put some string around it and you pulled it for the torque. Primitive. On the Disco 2 workshop manual, I found out that they had a little gizmo that goes onto the spline, and this is just a part of a steering yoke that I cut down, welded a piece of tube inside, and then put a 1/4 drive socket in, so then you can use a 1/4 drive top bar like this, balance beam, whatever you want to call it, and because this only goes up to 80 inch-pounds or 9 Newton meters, so it's a nice little range, and then you can set them kind of easily without all that stringy stuff. That was a waste of time. So that's done. What else happened last week? We had a young lady come from France. She put a Land Rover 110, 300 TDI 110 all kitted out for camping on the boat, and it landed up in Halifax, and then she drove to me unannounced, and the exhaust had snapped off and the brakes were making a hell of a noise. She said it was the front, so I was a bit busy at the time, but I pulled it into the shop and stripped the front brakes down. They were fine, there was nothing wrong with them. So I said, go outside, drive past me, and I want to hear this. I want to hear it running. So she drove past, and sure enough, screeching 300 TDI. As you know, it was the rear brakes. She had it serviced in France, but they didn't put the shims in. Now the shims, I used to sell them, and I thought it's about time I put them back in the shop again. So I had 100 of them made. So there's what, 25 sets there. So they're going to go in. They cost me a little bit more, but I'm going to keep them at the same price. I'll do them in a sets of 4. And as you know, the difference with mine is I put a little arrow here so you know which way is up, because a lot of people put them upside down. That's no good. The only way you can get these, now I just happen to have 4 on the shelf. I had the last 4. The only way to get these is, well, you can get them from other places as well, I suppose now, but they come with the Land Rover, a genuine Land Rover rear pads in a kit. So that's the only place you get them. And over here, the kit for the brakes is 200 Canadian dollars, which is about 100 quid for a set of pads. So if you get these pretty cheap off my site, then you can put any old bloody pads in. It doesn't matter, because when they've got that, the pads have got like a, how do we say, like a plastic coating on the back, a little pad. Well, once the piston's worked its way through to that and it's metal to metal, that's when you get your screeching. So this tips the piston up a little bit to stop that screech. Works wonders and it's cheap. Alright, catch you later.